Let me be sure that you can even hear. Okay. I think I'm audible now. Okay, so I was saying earlier that I'm not really happy, but we move. I've actually done this tutorial earlier, and I didn't realize that I wasn't recording. Like I was recording, but the network was bad, so I have to start it. In fact, I've already like cut everything, done everything, about this tutorial, honestly speaking, but we move. Okay, so welcome to my live video. This is so with Oma, also known as Oma Ideal Luxury. Welcome. Please like this video so that more people can join. Just like the thumbnail and the title, um we're making an asymmetrical top. It has a v-neck, a sweetheart, and it's a button down top. Okay, you can call it a shirt because it has buttons. You can also call it a top because of the peplum like look it has. Okay, so for this video or for this tutorial, we'll be making use of our brown paper or pattern drafting paper, um our rulers, straight ruler, curved ruler, or French curve, a paper tape if necessary, but I'm not so sure. I'll also be making use of my marker, my scissors, and yeah, my measurements. That's the client measurement. For this tutorial, what you need majorly, your measurement is the bust circumference, the under bust circumference, the waist circumference, the length, your hip circumference, and then the length of the blouse. You would need, well, let me start from the very beginning. Your shoulder, you would also need the bust circumference. You would also need your under bust circumference. You would also need the waist circumference, your hip circumference. Then for the point, you need, of course, your bust point. That's your shoulder to your bust point, your shoulder to your under bust, your shoulder to your waist point, your shoulder to the length of the blouse. Okay, it doesn't have to be your hip point. It has to be the length of the blouse. So you can imagine that your hip point is like 27, 28, and the length of the blouse of your customer is less than that. You don't need your hip point, but you need your hip circumference. Okay, so let's dive into the video proper. Please like the video so that more people can join. And yeah, let's go into the video. So the first thing I want to do is to get my baseline. So I usually get a baseline up here, and then we need 2 inches, 1.5 to 2 inches for our zip, sorry, our button, the button allowance. Okay, so I'll start with my baseline. We need our baseline. I usually go by 1 inch, and on this side, like I said earlier, 2 inches. Okay, so you need to do this one first. You need to do this one first, 2 inches down. So this will also serve as the baseline, for our circumference. Okay, so now after this is gotten, the next thing we want to do is to get our shoulder. Okay, our shoulder, the shoulder for this client is 16 inches. I've gotten that, and I'm also going to put down here our shoulder, 16 inches divided by 2, which is 8. Yeah, please note that. Also, that same 8 inches, I'm going to take that down here, which will serve as the chest line. That's our chest line. Okay, I'm going to connect that. This is our chest line. I'm just going to put there CL. This is our chest line, and then on this side I'll take back the 8 inches, which is our shoulder, divided by 2. Connect this way. I'm sure we're very familiar with this, so by looking at this, you already know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope. Our neck width is 3 inches, and I'm connecting to get my shoulder slope. Okay, so this is basically everything about this. So the next thing I want to do is to get all my points, which is the bust point, the under bust point, the waist point, and then the length of the blouse. The length of this blouse is 24, but I'll be working with 25. Okay, so the next thing I will do is to connect bust point 10, under bust 13 inches, the waist point is 18 inches, and then I said I'm using 25 for the length. That is 24 plus 1 inch of hemming allowance. Okay, so I'm going to connect all of these points so that we can, you know, begin. All right, so that we can begin. And just for clarity, I'm also going to indicate this is the bust point, under bust point, the waist point, and then the length. Okay, so just for clarity, this is what we have here. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is I want to get my armhole. So I'll just do that. Of course, you know your armhole from this point to this point, you get the midpoint, go in by half of an inch, and then connect. So that's basically what I'm doing. Even though I'm not doing all of that ceremony, I'm just connecting like so, right? So now we have to do the circumference. The circumference for my client is bust, round bust of 40 divided by 4 is 10. So I'm going to have that here. Usually when you want to fix sleeve, this top does not have sleeve. I usually used to go from the bust circumference 1 inch out for ease allowance. So if you're fixing sleeve, it is important to have ease allowance, but because there is no sleeve here, there is no need for ease allowance. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is come down to the under bust. The under bust of this client is 30 inches divided by 4, 7.5. The waist is also 30 divided by 4, 7.5. Now this is where we need our hip circumference down here. I hope you can see. The hip circumference of this client is 46 inches, and that's about 11.5 when I divide by 4. So I'm going to connect all of these points together. Okay, I'll connect all of these points together, and yeah, connect the hip also, right? So we have that here. The next thing I want to do now is, so if you see the picture, you would see that it looks like there is a cup or padded. There is no padding there. It's an English top. So it's usually cup there, the English cup. You incorporate the English cup into your top. So we want to make that channel. Okay, so we're going to do a bust here. The nipple to nipple of my client is 8 inches. I'm dividing by 2, and I'm connecting all the way down to the length of this blouse. Okay, so I'm going to connect all the way to the length of this blouse. That's what I'm doing here. Yep, going to do that all the way to the length of this. And then on the under bust, if you are working with a busty person, please pay attention. If you're working with a busty person, the under bust, that's the allowance or the darting you'll be given at the under bust at the side pieces, should be at least 2 inches. So how do you know somebody who is busty? The difference from the bust point to the under bust. If it's more than 3 inches, from 3 inches it should be 1.5 on the side piece of the person, right? That's on this side, not the center. So if it's more than 3 inches, please go ahead and use 2 inches or more, depending. Okay, imagine you have a bust difference from the bust point to the under bust of like 4 to 5 inches. Of course, you know that person is really busty. You're going to use 2 inches or more. But for this person is not very busty, so I'm using 1.5. And the center piece, I'm also going to go in by half. So in total, I used 2 inches. So you're using for a very busty person. In total, it will be around, maybe you use 2 inches here and then use 1 inch here. Okay, maybe in total it will be around 3 inches and so on and so forth. Okay, so here we're just going to connect this to the bust point, which I've done here, and then also you connect this to the bust point. Okay, just a straight line to the bust point. We need a curve here, right? Remember, we're creating a channel, so from this chest line we're going out by 1 or half and quarter of an inch, but I am going out by 1 inch. Okay, so I will just connect like so. On this point, it's just fine to go straight. It's okay like this. You don't need to go in. Okay, like I said, this is not a serious bust here. We just need to create a channel for the cup to sit in properly. So that's why we're doing this. Okay, if not, we're just going to do maybe a princess cut and then princess darting and go on with our lives. So the next thing I want to do on the length of this place, I'm going to go in by half of an inch, right, so that I can connect my darts properly. Can connect my darts properly. And on this place, I'm going to just connect to the nipple to nipple line, right? So this is basically what we have right now. We're going to replace this dart. Obviously, you replace your dart and put your sewing allowance. Okay, so but I'm choosing to just replace my dart here and put the sewing allowance on the fabric. So I took out 2 inches here. I'll replace it. Please replace your dart. Remember to replace your dart. On this point here on the waist area is about 1.5. I'm going to replace it. Then here I took just half of an inch. I am going to replace it on the length of the blouse. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is connect this to this place. We don't have anything. You don't need to replace this. Please take note, you don't need to replace this. You don't need to replace it, please. So you just connect and connect. All right, perfect. So this is what we have now. Now let's go up here again. Let's go up here. We're done with the side. Let's go up here. So now we have our neck width of 3 inches. This is a v-neck top. It's a v-neck top, but it also has sweetheart. It has sweetheart. So take note of it. Look at the image and take note of it. It has sweetheart. So making your sweetheart, the depth or how deep you want your sweetheart is dependent on you and your clients. For some people, they want it on their bust point. They want it on, just 1 inch. So I'll be going 1 inch here, 1 inch from the chest line. So I don't want it on the bust point. I don't want it to be too deep. Okay, so what I'll do is to connect. So I'll go up from my chest line up here by 1 inch to enable me connect well. All right, so I'll just connect this way. All right, so I'll just connect this way for my sweetheart. Remember I said the deepness of your sweetheart is depending on you or your customer. Now we are not going to leave this aside. This is our allowance for button, so we're going to bring this out like this. We'll bring this out like this. Also, our neck line is going to get here. It's going to stop here. So I just connect. It's either you use the straight part. It's either you use the straight part, do it this way, or maybe you want to have curve. You curve it like this. Okay. So I choose the straight part, and that's what I'm using. Okay. So this is basically what it is for this area, right? So the next thing we want to do, we have gathered somewhere around here. So from the center front, from this point, which is the baseline, remember this is our button allowance. So from this baseline, we're going to go in by either 1 inch, 1.5, or 2 inches. It just depends on the more space you want here. But I think I'll be working with 1.5. I'm working with 1.5. So what I just need to do is get my curved ruler. You can use your free hand at this point. You can use your free hand or use your curved ruler. So what I just need to do is to get my curved ruler and connect like so. Sorry, connect to the waist point. Okay, so you connect this to the waist point. Like I said, you can use free hand so that you get what you're looking for. So you just connect like so. Okay, so now we're done with this. I'll cut out, and the next thing we're going to do here is a slash and spread. We're going to do a slash and spread down there. Okay, So I'm going to cut out. If you notice, I'm taking both the button allowance. That is very, you see, it's just like when you're cutting shirt. When you want to make a shirt, of course you keep an allowance for button, right? You don't just start from the center front and be going like that. You need what is it called, allowance for button. So now, like I said, this is an English clothes. Usually when you're cutting a bust here, from the bust point you make a bust, like a side bust that, but for this you don't need it. I mean, you can go on to do that, but you don't need it. Like I said, this is an English top. You really don't need, you just need a channel for your cup, which we have made. Okay, so I'm cutting out um I'm cutting out the style. Okay, so from this point now, I will, so you see I'm cutting out the center front. All right, I'm cutting out the center front. So we extended by 1 inch. Please do well to go up, do well to go up, and then do the same connection here, please. So I'm cutting this out here. You know, your yoke is important. You need your yoke because it was attached again. If you notice that yoke area, they used like a white fabric, right? So the yoke is as important as the style itself. All right, so this is our yoke and this is our V neckline. This is our V neckline. Let me take this out so that I can do the other thing. So this is our center front. This is the center front. This is the button. So this is your center front. Okay. So this place, I'm going to take out the sorry. I'm going to take out the dart here. I'm going to take out the dart here for the side. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take this out. Okay. Take this out. Perfect. All right, great. So we have this now. We have the gathers. That's this side peplum or side gather. It's gathers. So I'm just going to take this out. And so this is our side piece, right? This is our side piece. Now, you know, because I'm doing a slash and spread, usually maybe if I wanted to just maybe cut it as a flare and attach it to another fabric, I'll pin this down, but there is no need, honestly. There is no need to remove this dart. You understand? That's why, because I'm still going to extend it, so there's no need to remove the dart. So for my slash and spread, it just depends on how full you want your gathers to be. What is that other one? How full you want your gathers to be. So you can start, you can go in by 2 inches, you know, and just cut open. So at this point now, what you will do is you will cut, see, cut it from this point to the end, from this point to the end, cut and finish. Open it, open it, don't leave it halfway and do like this. No, open it, open it, open it. Hmm? No, no, hold on. So open it up. Okay, all right, you can decline. Yeah, okay, so open it up. All right, so the spacing is depending on you, like I said. So you can choose to, oh, I want small space. Let's just assume this table is the fabric. You can say I want small space and then you leave it like this. Or you know, extend it, and then the spacing on how full you want it is depending on your client's fabric. So if the fabric is a lot, then you go ahead and make more space. All right. So thank you very, very much. I hope this video is very impactful, and please leave in the comment section, like the live, we have actually ended. But leave in the comment section, as I'm going to save this live, leave in the comment section what you would like me to do, what other tutorial you'd like to see on my live video. And yeah, I'll be coming on live in the evening, maybe from 5 or 6. I'll be giving heads up earlier. All right, thank you very much for joining. Welcome to my live video. This is Oma Ideal Luxury, also known as So with Oma. And till we see you in our next live video. Bye bye. Oops.